In this tutorial, we are going to pick some flowers for Hulda. And this is the key. So, this is a very complex tutorial, complex quest that kind of recreates the Ingram ingredient collection. So I'm just showing here, I've already got the tutorial done, putting this at the beginning. This was a test of it. So it's going to show how when you start this quest, you get choices, or you can refuse it, or you can say, sure, I'll find them. And it does the counts for you for the ingredients you're going to capture, or the ingredients you're going to pick. It's a very complex tutorial, and it's very long. But there's not a lot of spaces. So you're probably going to have to pause, stop and go as you need to.
I wonder how the battle.
And there's a lot of code, and all the code will be left down in the description. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you have fun with this and play around with it and create what you want. This beginning intro here is just me testing it out now the tutorial's done, that the quest did work. And obviously it does. We're going to jump out and pick some tundra cotton real quick to make sure it adds the count like it's supposed to. There's a lot to learn in this tutorial. There's many things you might learn to help you in other quests. This quest is, as I said before, very, very complex. So let's get into the tutorial.
Be on your guard.
Okay, so let's get right into this. In the CK, just update in Skyrim ESM and click OK. As always, be patient for the CK to open up because the creation kit always takes a while. Once you have everything opened up, you'll make sure to highlight quest. From there, we're going to right click new and start here. We'll give it an ID, SSS underscore WRH 01 for Whiterun Hulda. We'll call this Hulda's Bloom. We're going to set the type to miscellaneous. We're going to leave this as start game enabled and create a sec file at the end. Priority is going to be 40. Then we're going to go to quest stages. Start with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 100 is what we're going to do. Oh, I missed the 40, but that's okay. We'll just make another one that says 40. When we close the quest out and come back in, it'll align itself. There we go here. Close the quest out. Now to find your quest and open it back up, just type in the SSS, bring it up and open it back up. And you can see there that the stages have all set. We change the numbers. I appreciate you guys watching these tutorials, and I hope they do help. But if they do, please leave a like or a comment. Tell me what you're working on for a project. It helps the channel, and I am trying to grow this channel some. Next, we're going to get into the player dialogue. This is going to be a tutorial where we're going to jump around to certain areas as we go through this. So we might have to go back to player dialogue later on, back to quest stages to get this done. This is more of a complex quest. So we'll just leave this at what it gives us. We'll put another 01 at the end of it. And we'll leave it at topic. There we go. So in here, we're going to put simple dialogue. I'm going to give you the basis of how to do this. And you're going to put whatever dialogue you want. But this is just going to be to go for Hulda. Anything you need. Or did you need anything? And we'll go from there. Here, we'll change this to 90. Then we're going to right click in here. And click new. Now we're going to add dialogue for what she needs. And I'm going to do this in a different way, so it's going to teach you something else if you haven't done a lot of dialogue. But what we're going to add is, yes, I could use some flowers to perk up the inn. So that's what we're going to put in. And I'm not going to voice this for the tutorial, so we'll close this chat out when we get this done. Now once this box shows up, we're going to hit for subtitles because I'm not going to voice it, so I wanted to show the text when we do this. We'll click New in Conditions. First one we're going to do is Get Is Stage. Or Get Stage. So once you've found Get Stage, make sure you select that one. And then here we want to find the quest we just created. Make sure the quest is selected. Sometimes if you do it real quick, it'll select a different one on the way out. So make sure that's selected. Then we want to set this to 0. Because that's the only time we want this dialogue to show up. Okay? Now we're going to create a new condition. Because we only want this dialogue to show up for Hulda. So Get His ID is already selected. Find Hulda and select her name. This one's going to stay at equal 1. And there we go. So now what this tells us is that this dialogue will only show up when our quest we created is at stage 0, and only Hulda will be able to say it. So from here, we're going to close this dialogue out. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to add a new topic. On this one, just click backspace once on the 1 and change that to 2. That's the easiest way to do this one. Next, come back over to here, right click and hit New. Now we're going to add some dialogue into this. Tundra, cotton, and lavender would be great. 5 of each. Next, click OK. Then obviously let it correct your spelling if you're a hack typer like I am. We're going to click OK and get out of here. And we're going to go to the next box. Click Force Subtitles. This is just so we can see it in this tutorial. You don't have to do that if you're going to voice it. I was going to want to do goodbye. That's going to be the last part of this dialogue. And click out of here. Now we're going to go back up into the first dialogue. And we're going to go over here and add the last dialogue we just made. And we're going to click Invisible Continue. And what this does is when you hear long storytelling, you don't have to have a prompt of dialogue. They'll continue and keep going with the dialogue that you added. So it's a way of using storytelling without making a scene. So we'll name this Hulda's Bloom, save our progress, and we'll go from there. Now let's open the quest back up, and we need to be in aliases. Right click, hit New Reference Alias. Wait for that to come up. The next thing we're going to need is specific reference. Here we're going to go Cell as Any, and that should automatically go to the player. So click OK here for player reference. Now we need to name the alias. We'll name it WRH01 player. Then we click OK. I'm going to right click and hit New, add another alias. This one we're going to call WRH01 Ingen. Now this one's going to be a unique actor. We're going to want to find Ingen. And there we go. And click OK for this alias. We're going to come back to these, but that's the start to get the aliases in place. Click OK and save your progress. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to find some globals. We're going to add some globals. So scroll down and find global. Remove this SSS because this name's going to be a little bit different. Right click and hit New. And we're going to name this one WRH01 Tundra Count. Leave it at 0 and just click OK. Then up here we're going to add the WRH to filter that out. Oh, let me fix that. That way we can highlight the ones we're creating now. Now we want to right click and hit new. And we're going to want to name this one WRH Tundra Total. Hit constant. Another one, right click, hit new. WRH01 Lavender Count. Click OK. Click OK on this one. Another new one. WRH01 Lavender Total is what we're going to want. This one we're going to want it set to 5. And this to constant. Which I think I forgot to do to the other one. Let's go check right now. The total, there we go. We're going to set that to 5. There we go. Click OK there. Before we continue, let's save our progress because we're going to get into the most technical part of this quest coming up. So let's open it back up and go to Quest Stages. And we're going to add a tag in Quest Stages into the 0 stage. And the reason for this, I'll show you in a second, because this is what creates the script for the quest stages. So sometimes when you got to close the quest out and open it back up when you first create it, this is why, is to allow this script to be created. So in here, we're going to hit semicolon, startup, and we'll hit compile. And I think I already screwed it up, but that's okay. Do we get semicolon, startup, compile this, and this just tags what this stage does. So from here, let's go over to the script tab. I know this can get monotonous, guys. It is making them too. So you want to pause when you need to, take a break, save it where you're at. That's why I try to save a lot while we're creating this. The next thing we need to do is go to the scripts tab. So here is the script that was just created. This is for the quest stages, but we're going to add another one. So let's click add, and an error will come up, and hit yes to all. Now, for reasons unknown, sometimes when you add these, it just makes all of the boxes go haywire. And then you're going to dig back down and find the box you were looking for and start there. So there's the box for the script right here. So let's just go down and do it right here, and I'll straighten it out in a second. Add script. Click OK. We want to really name this after the quest name. So we're going to call it WRH01 Quest Script. Leave it at Quest. Click OK, and that'll pop up here. Now, usually the next thing we'll do in here, let me straighten these boxes out real quick. There we go. We'll try to anyway. We'll figure it out. I don't know why this does this. It's a mystery. It's annoying, but that's okay. We'll straighten them back out, get them to where we need to go from there. Okay. So, usually the next stage here would be to add properties, but there's a problem with this. This script is going to allow what's called casting. So I need the properties to be conditional. Now, when we add the properties with the properties button, it doesn't allow this, and I'll show you. So if I'm going to add an ingredient, like I want to add tundra cotton or lavender, them are the two ingredients we're using in this quest. So if I add the property here, and then I change this to ingredient, and we click on this, bring up ingredient, and then I add the tundra cotton, right? P tundra cotton is how I'm going to add it. I want a name on this. But now if you look, I can't click conditional, and I need this to be conditional. So we're going to close this out because there's another way to add properties. And once you get used to questing and writing a lot of code, you'll probably add most of your properties this way anyway. Now, I've already typed this stuff out so I can copy and paste it in. And this is why I put it in the description for you, so you can copy and paste this in as you follow this along. The reason I do that is so you don't have to sit around and watch me type. I'm trying to get the most information I can in the shortest amount of time. So in here, we're going to go to the end of here, edit source, enter twice, so go down a couple spaces, and then this is what we're going to get into. And I'll go over, I'm going to pause this in a second, go right over it. So I snapped a picture of what I put in, and this is what we got. The top line, got quest property, the quest we named it auto conditional. So this adds us all into this properties. Global variable. You can see each one basically what it's going to do, but we're going to go back into properties and make sure these set right, which they probably didn't, and we'll manually set these. But this is a different way to set properties. So let's get back into this click here, and save. This should compile, and then you'll see compile successfully. And from there, we can close this out. So the next thing we're going to do is go back into the properties of this code, and you'll see that they are all added, but we're going to edit the values. So on this one, match it to what we have in there for lavender. Find lavender, and click it. Then go down to the P Tundra Cotton. Same thing. And match it to what we're looking for the ingredient. So this one's going to be Tundra Cotton. And there you go there. Now we're going to find the globals. You can see above it says global variable. So we want to find the one with the same name, lavender count. So add this one. Next we'll go back down to the Tundra count. Found this global as well. There we go. Now the next thing I'm going to add is the quest, and that's the same quest that we created. But remember, when we named this one, we started with SSS. So we're going to need to find that and click this. Now all the values are set to the right properties with conditional, which is how I want it. So there we go. And from here, we're going to close this out. And this will pause for a second usually when you do this, and let's save our progress. So now we got to open this up and make some changes because I'd written some code out on the side and I forgot to add to stage 0. So I'm just going to change this here. Remove this. Uncheck the startup stage. Hit compile. And remove stage 0. Part of modding is remembering to change stuff to where you have it. A lot of people's mods fail when they're creating something because they forgot something, which is very common. I do it all the time. Let's do a semicolon startup. Make sure you check this as startup stage in stage 10. And now we want to add some stages. Add 50, 60, remove 100, add 200 and 250. I know I forgot to hit compile on the last one, but I'll show you something when this is over. It'll compile itself when you close it up. Now if I go down and hit OK, you'll see it hesitate before it closes. That's because it's compiling. If there was an error, it would have told you. Even though you're best to remember to compile. So from here, we need to change out player dialogue. Because remember, with the first conditions we set was stage 0. So now we got to change that to 10. So let's open this up. And now we got this open. Now this is a very common mistake. This is not the one we're going to change. I've done this multiple times. I set that to 10 and that is wrong. So I want to go back into the Hulda one and set that back to 1. The one we want to actually change is the one for get stage. That's to show you that I make this mistake a lot. So sometimes if a quest isn't working or dialogue isn't showing up, that's what people have done. So go back into here. Hit the right one. I'm just jumping around sometimes. I do that. But none of that meant anything. I'm just looking at other things. Double check to make sure I got stuff right. So this is the one we want to change to 10. So get stage 10. And here we go. We want to hit force subtitles on this one, which was already done, I believe. And then from here was the next part it went to with the invisible continue. Now this is where we're going to add choices. Okay? So the next one we're going to do, we're going to start a new one, new topic. And we're going to change this one to just sure. We'll add sure to the end of that. And we're going to add another one. And this one's just going to say later. So this gives her the option to say yes or no when you talk to her and she wants the ingredients. So we get sure and later. So we want to open this up when she says she needs the 5 of each, and we're going to add links here. We're going to put sure. They're hitting the wrong one. And then add the later one. Now this in the topic in the quest when it's you talk to her will give the option of saying yes or no. So if you say sure, we'll put code in soon that pushes the quest forward, and then the other one we won't. Right? So here we'll just type something simple in, whatever you want to answer. Then click new down here. And then give her a response to that. Thank you, or whatever you want to put. Right? Now, down here, I'm going to change the facial expression to happy. That she's happy that you said yes. Okay? 4 subtitles. This one's going to be a goodbye. Click OK to that. Now we're going to open up the one that was later. Just add something in here. I don't have time right now, something like that. Whatever you want to add. And in the new, just add the response you want that person to have. Maybe later then, right? Now down here, I'm going to change the expression to sad. That she looks sad that you had to wait till later on to get it because she wants them now. So set goodbye and go from there. I forgot to do something, so we're going to go back into this for a moment. I realized when I closed up later that I forgot to hit 4 subtitles because I'm not voicing this quest. This is just a tutorial. So here we'll click OK. And that should have that one all set up. So in here, this is going to be the one when you say yes, it's got to push the quest forward. So we're going to add a code into the end fragment box. It says get only quest set stage 20. I'm going to change it. I like to change these fragments to something that matches the quest. So we'll go WRH 0120. And click OK. That'll rename the code or the script. And you click OK and close out of here. And then, actually, the next thing, I got to close the quest out. And that's right, I got to close the quest out. There we go. Click OK and save your progress. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into quest objectives. Now this is going to be a little different because we're going to kind of code the quest objectives. So right click and hit new. We'll make the first one. That one's going to be 10. Now this one's going to be interesting. Most of this is self-explanatory. But what's happening here is when you see the global equals tundra count, that's the count of what you have in your inventory. And the total is the amount you're supposed to gather. So if you had 2, it would say 2 out of 5 when this pops up. Now if you lost 1, it would go down to 1 out of 5. So the next one we're going to make is 15. And this is going to be a simple one. This one's just going to point to once you collect the tundra cotton to you got the 5 to bring them to Hulda. That one will be simple. And then here, and look at that. I made Ingram instead of Hulda. So we're going to have to fix that. I'm going to end up put an edit in the beginning of the video to show people that I made the mistake. So if they did this way, we're going to correct it. If you correct it then, that's fine. So we don't want to do that. I want to click out of here. Let's go back into aliases and change this. I'm going to change that name to Hulda. I'm going to change the NPC to Hulda. close this out. You know, one other thing I'm going to do in there. Let's open that back up for a second. I want to change something on this alias that I usually do. Usually, a lot of times, if I'm going to check any checkbox, is optional. Now, what this is for doesn't mean that... So sometimes a quest tries to fill right off, and if it doesn't allow it to fill, the quest won't start. A lot of people have problems with this, think they broke the quest. Put optional, that'll bypass that problem all the time. So now we go ahead to the target. So this will make it put a map marker to Hulda when this comes up. So we've got Hulda here, and we're good to go there. Next we're going to go new. And this one we're going to want is 20. And this one is the same explanation as the last one. So this is the lavender, the count for it, what you have in your inventory and what you're going to get to. And yeah, I don't need that yet because we're not going to pull the point to Hulda yet. Now we're going to create another new one. This one is going to be 25. And this is going to point to Hulda once you have completed picking up the lavender. Sorry, had a brain cramp there. And here we're going to click new. This will point to Hulda as a target when you look at the map. Now we're going to need one more. We're going to add one more. We're going to add number 40. Unsure if we're going to need it yet. We're going to put it in for now. If we don't, we'll just delete it later on. This one's going to point you, tell you to speak with Hulda if you've got all the ingredients at once. And on this one, we're going to add another target reference. So we'll right click and hit new in here. Then choose through the alias down below, Hulda. That way it points to her on the map. And that should be it for quest objectives at this moment. Save your progress. Now open your quest back up and we're going to go to the scripts tab. We're going to go to that script we had created. We're going to edit the source. And now you get to see why a lot of people have not recreated this quest. This is the code for the count. This is a function code. So each one is for like to count the tundra cotton, and it will go down through and show you. It'll grab the globals. It will set different quest objectives depending on when you put one in your inventory or remove one when you pick one. We still got more coding to do, but from here you want to compile this code, and all of the code is down in the description. So let's close this out now that it compiled successfully, and save your progress again. Now we're going to want to open the quest back up because it's time to code some aliases and some quest stages. So we're going to go to the quest stage, and we're going to go down to the last one. This is if you fail the quest. So we're going to right click new. And in here we want to hit the semicolon and just put quest failed. That way we're tagging what this stage does. So we're going to come back into here, into this box. We're going to enter and go one down. And we're going to add a couple lines of code. So this is fail all objectives and stops the quest. This is if the quest fails. But for the quest to fail, we have to give a reason for the quest to fail. Now the reason for the quest to fail is if Hulda died. So we're going to quest aliases. And open up Hulda. And we're going to go to the quest window and click add. Now some people will get an error. And if you do, just hit yes to all. Now we're going to search for default set stage alias script. It needs to be that exact script. These are built into the game, but this is the one we need on an alias. So select it once you find it. Click OK. Now in here, there are going to be 3 different properties we can set. They're like parameters for a property. This one is if you want to, it has to be a certain stage for them to die or something like that. That one you don't need. What we do need is the second one down, which is stage. And set this to 250. And there you go. Now trigger type goes by numbers. So the number we want is 1, which is on death. And I'll show you in a second how you figure that out. So from here, and we got 1 set up. Everything's there. And that's all we needed in this one, really. If you're confused on how I figured out that 1 is on death, I'll show you. So if you hover over what you're looking at, trigger type, there you go. If you hover over it, it'll show you 1 is on death. It'll show you the different triggers by numbers that you can put into this parameter, into this property. So from here, we're going to close out this code or this script and close everything else out, hit OK on everything, and we're going to save again. You want to save a lot when you're doing complex quests like this. There we go. Now let's save. We're going to open the quest back up. This time we're going to go to player dialogue. So let's go over to here. And now we're going to create some more dialogue with some conditions. So let's create another one here. So new. And this one on the end of it, we're going to put TC for Tundra Cotton. So this one is going to be for when you've collected all the Tundra Cotton. Okay? Click this OK. Leave it a topic. Oh, we won't leave it a target actually. We'll just put 01 at the end of the TC. That way you can see it. Okay, up here, we're going to type the response when we go back to her, back to Hulda. So I have the Tundra Cotton, and that one's fine there. In here, click New. And we need to add Hulda's response. Thank you. I should give you some gold for your trouble, something like that. Or for your troubles. From here, click OK. So I've got the conditions in already. So I'm going to explain each condition to you. So one of them is going to be get his ID, Hulda equals 1. That's just because, so the dialogue only goes to Hulda. Then we got get stage. Choose the quest we created, WRH01, and set that to stage 20. Click OK there. The next one down is a little bit different. It's get stage done. So this is get stage done, but this one's set to 0, but I'm going to show you why here in a second. We'll go back to that other condition in a moment. This one is get item count. We want it to Tundra Cotton. I'm going to change this to 5, but this one is going to run on the player, as you can see here. So we'll go back to that condition in a second. Let me get the code into here. Force title, goodbye. Down here, get only quests, set stage 30. Now rename this. I usually do the SSS underscore WRH01 30. Or something like that. I always try to name it by the stage, as I mentioned before. Okay, so we close this out. Let me go back up real quick and show you what I was talking about in this one. I think I missed part of this. So get stage done. And then in this part here, we got the quests. And then the stage down here is 30. Then click OK. And the reason it's set to 0 is so that means if this quest is at stage 30 already, this dialogue will not show up. Okay? Click OK. And save. We'll close out this too. And save. We're going to open the quest back up again. There we go. We're going to add another one for when we get the lavender. So we'll just change this and put an LV at the end. Click OK. You can leave it a topic, but I'll go back and put 01 on this. And this one is simple. It's going to be just like the Tundra Cotton one. put I have the lavender. Something simple. Click new in here. And there we go. Put something like thank you. I'll give you some gold for your time. Something like that. Whatever dialogue you want. The main thing to pay attention to what we did in this is the code I put in. The code has to be precise. If something's off, you'll have issues. So here we'll click OK. That's what we need there. 4 subtitles. Goodbye on this one. So let's go over the conditions for this. So the first one, like usual, is get his ID, Hulda, and 1. That one's run on subject. The next one is get stage. And the quest, of course, that we're working on, and it's greater than or equal to 20. Next one down is get stage done. And I have this one set wrong right now. So there's the quest right there. We're going to change this to 40. Click OK. And that's set to 0. That means if you're already at 40, this dialog won't show up. And then this one here, get item count, the lavender, on the player, and the count is 5. Or greater than or equal to 5. So from here, we're going to get, in this script box, we're going to put get only quest, set stage 40. Compile that. Rename the script. Like I always do, SSS WRH0140. Click OK, close the boxes out, and save your progress. So once you get everything saved, we're going to open it back up again. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of this. So this time, we're going to go over to quest aliases. We're going to open up the player alias, and we need to add the player script to this alias. Now, this is going to be on event of initiating, like when you pick a Tundra Cotton, it adds it to the count. This is also going to be in here. So we're going to create a new script, and we're going to call it WRH01 player script. And go from there. And close it out. And remember, everything we copy and paste into the source is always going to be down in the description. So we're going to edit the source, and I'm going to add the code to put the properties in. Hit save. And there's an error. Now I already see the error. Now if you look at the last line that I put in, I forgot to put the L on conditional. So you can look through this bottom box, but if I add, and it will tell you what's wrong, but if I add the L here, and then click save, it'll compile right. Successful. So there we go. Now there's that part of it. Close that out just for a second. Now we're going to go to properties, and we're going to fix these. So change this one to lavender. Find lavender in the list. Change this one to Tundra Cotton. And these ones are going to be directed to your quest. Now one of them, as you can see at the end of it, it says QS. That'll go to that quest script that we created a while ago in this quest. That's why you want the name the same as the quest. And here we're going to change the quest to the one we need, which is the quest we're running. Click OK here. Click OK. And now we're going to open it back up and edit the source. Hit enter and go down a couple. And this code that I pasted in is going to be in the description. Now we're going to compile it because I'm almost 45 minutes into making a tutorial. It's almost 45 minutes long. So I'll get on a stream soon and explain everything to you. This initiates when you pick something, it adds to the count. It reads what quest you're at, what container is holding, what your other container, when it is removed from you and everything else. We'll go over that later on. But right now, close it out and save your progress. As we open the quest back up, it's time to go into quest stages and start to add properties so we can do this final bit of coding. We're going to start by adding the reward property. So we want to find a leveled item. Leveled items. And we're going to name this PWRH01 Gold. And click OK. Now we'll go into this and change this to Favor Reward Gold Small. And click OK. And we need to add more. Now we're going to add a couple ingredients. So we're going to search ingredient in the type. We're going to change this name to PWRH01 Tundra Cotton. And then click OK here. Over here and change that one to Tundra Cotton. These are pretty self-explanatory. Just what you name them, for that's what's going to be in the code. In the quest stages. So now same thing. Ingredient. PWRH01 Lavender. What I'm going to call this. And as you guessed, we change it to lavender. The last property we need to put in here, we're going to have to do it through the source code. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to this right here. Edit the source. Go all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to enter this line. Now the reason being is because there is no property called quest script. That's why some of these got to go in this way. What this does is allows us to cast. So we click here. Excuse me. If we click here and hit save, it'll compile. And it allows us to put code in the quest stages and cast to this. Use that to cast script. So go back into the properties now. The fan system just going on the solar if you guys hear that noise. And then we'll edit this video and put it back to the quest we're going to. Here, close out here, hit OK. And we're going to close out and save. And that's my bad because I have that open. Okay, now let's open this back up. We're going to put the code in for stage 30. Right here. So this will remove the Tundra Cotton and put quest objective 15 will be finished and give you some gold. And then hit compile. Next, we add the code for stage 40. So this is going to remove the lavender, give you some more gold. But I made a mistake when I made the property. So I had to change the spelling on this to it. So when I made the property, instead of putting WRH on the lavender, I put WTH. The spelling is very important when you're writing code. So I had to change that to WTH lavender in this code here. So if you did the WRH, keep it at WRH. So the good news is that I was ahead of where I thought we were. So stage 40, when we go in and talk to the last time, the lavender, that was the last ingredient. I kept thinking 3 because we were creating that quest, but we only did 2. So we're going to change some of the dialogue in here. So quest stage 40 is going to be the complete quest. So we did make extra stages, which is fine. That's not going to hurt nothing. We're just going to leave them in. So we're going to close this back out here, and we're going to go. One thing we're going to do is I'm going to go back up here and add to this. So I have the lavender. That should be the last ingredient, something like that. I'm going to put this into here. When this is all set, we're going to go over to quest stages. My phone doesn't stop. And here we're going to add a couple more code at the bottom here. So complete all objectives. Then we're going to add one below that. Just stop and close parameters at the end of it. We're also going to check off. We're going to compile this. I'm going to check off complete quest. It's compiled. Everything's set. No errors. Click OK. Oh, we forgot something. Open it back up and go to the quest data tab. Right here, we need to add the global counts and the global totals. Now, this is what a lot of people miss, and I believe that's why a lot of people have a hard time with these type of quests. If you don't put these here, the count will not show up on the quest objective. So we had created 4 and put all 4 of them into this list. You got to do one at a time. This is very important because this is the reason people have a hard time with this quest. They get everything right but this part, and they can't get the count to take when the quest objective comes up. Without this, it will just show up like dots, like something's wrong. So now that we got these 4 in there, let's close it out here and save our progress. Then we're going to make a sec file. The final stretch. Open up your TES5 edit. So we can get this list. And this is what we're looking for. Hulda's bloom. What we're going to want to do is select none. Now go down, check it off, and hit OK. This will load it up and load all the masters up. From here, we're going to go over to Hulda's bloom. And we're going to right click, go down to Other, hit Sec File. And then on the messages, you'll see Sec File created. And you're done. You can close this out. And now your mod is finished.